Hello, Alexandros. Say hi.
Hi. Happy Halloween.
It's Halloween for us, not them, though.
No, not for you, but for me.
But for us, Halloween. And for those listening, he has vampire teeth in, and we're
Rawr.
calling rawr.
This is the skin of a killer Bella.
That's crazy.
Spider monkey, how's it going?
Spider monkey. That's psychotic.
Anyway, so
Why do you look like? You kind of look like with that in your mouth. You look like the guy Owen Teague from Planet of the Apes, the guy who Ari's obsessed with. You look like him right now. That's a compliment. You look like him right now.
I'm gonna take this out.
Take him out.
I'm gonna. Don't. Oh, God.
Everyone look. Ew.
Anyways, hey guys, how's it going?
Hi.
I'll just put that.
Ew.
I'll wipe it.
Ew.
I'll wipe that down later.
So what's up, everyone? Speaking of teeth, guess what happened to me?
Did you just take out teeth like I just did?
I got a tooth pulled, and it was so bad.
Doesn't it feel good now, though?
Yes, I feel worlds better. However, when I tell you it was the single most traumatizing thing that's ever happened to me, I'm not exaggerating. They used a hammer. No. I started, you guys, I'm very actually so afraid of the dentist, and I started hyperventilating. I had a panic attack in the chair. My hands went numb. I couldn't breathe.
What anesthesia did they use for you?
They didn't use anesthesia. They just numbed it and then.
No, they used the hammer for anesthesia.
I wish
you out.
I wish they knocked my ass out. Oh. That was the worst experience of my whole life. I had tears falling down my face. It was so bad.
I just know this is good. This is going to be traumatic for a lot of people right now, but I just know there's a dark romance out there.
There is. I know it.
Guaranteed, where he's a dentist or some shit taking her teeth out while he does something to her mouth.
I'm sure there is.
I just know it's out there. Send us Rex.
My dentist was not hot, sorry, but he was hilarious. So love him so bad.
Oh, so that romance isn't starting then.
No, and he was kind of old, but he was adorable. But apparently my friend has a really hot dentist, and that's why he goes. And so I'm like, okay. But he goes up here, not by us. So I'm like, ugh, but if I had a hot dentist, maybe it'd be a
after you shoot an episode, just go get some teeth pulled.
Yeah, I know. But anyways.
How many teeth do we have? 32? We have 32 teeth?
Girl, I don't know. I'm British. I don't know those things. We're not famous for our teeth.
If you were British, you'd have bad teeth.
Well, I mean, Exhibit A. I had one pulled.
To our fans in the UK, you have the best teeth.
No, love you so bad.
Oh
I'm so sorry.
Whoa. Shut the fuck up.
I was just kidding. Sorry. In fact, actually,
like a third of our fan base.
Actually, my friends in the UK, if you guys know of anywhere, you guys want to hear the spontaneous thing that I want to do? I told you this.
Sure.
I don't know. I really want to live in the UK for like a month. So like next year, if y'all know anybody, know any place, have any hot brothers, if you are, or like anything like that where I can stay, like I'm actually being so serious, let me know. Sorry for being rude. Anyways, so what's up?
Hey, how's it going? Speaking of
Besides
getting teeth pulled out, I mean, I had teeth pulled out like last year, like my wisdom teeth, but they knocked me out for that. You're
so lucky. Well, I learned that I have to be put under now. Like, I will never do that again because it was so bad. Like, and they kept saying, it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be that bad. Liars! Liars! They had to stop. Like, sorry to keep talking about this, but they had to stop with the hammer because he told me, he's like, it's going to be a tap, tap. Bitch, it was not a tap, tap. It was a bang, bang. And not in a good way. Like, my whole head was like, thump, thump, thump. It was terrible. Stop.
Life imitates art.
Stop. Anyways, let's not keep talking about my teeth. It was so bad.
I had a much better past week personally.
So happy for you.
I did Pilates for the first time.
Isn't it great? I told you.
I
don't know how you felt about it.
So, a friend of mine is training to become a Pilates instructor at this new Pilates place, and they were like, "Hey, so since I'm just like in my training period, they're not charging for lessons, so come on in so I can fill it up and get feedback." I went.
It's hard, huh?
I've never done Pilates before. I had no idea what it was like.
Mm-hmm. Was it reformer Pilates on the machine?
Yeah, it was on that weird bench thing that like slides on out like that. So we were doing a bunch of leg stuff.
Cirque du Soleil vibes.
Yeah, and about halfway through the workout, my legs were shaking like crazy, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be bad. Like, this is gonna be bad soon. And we're doing this one weird squat thing on it, and I couldn't do the squats. Because I was like, hard. Yeah, if I do a squat, I'm going to face plant, break a tooth on the ground, and you're going to get fired on day one. So she was like, hey, you're not doing it. I was like, I know I'm not. Let me just hold the form for a minute.
You know what's hard? They'll have you do like a plank and then go like up and down?
That was easier for me because that's a lot more upper body and core, which I'm good at. So
no, I like legs better. But for that, when you're staring at the springs, that's what I was thinking. I was like, my face is going to go into this and I'm going to die. But I didn't. I survived.
Yeah. Anyways, I might go again this Saturday.
It's fun.
So yeah,
it's so fun. I love Pilates. Did you wear the socks?
I had to borrow socks. I didn't know what I was walking into.
Cute little grippy socks. I have ones that look like ballet flats. If you want to borrow
those. Grippy sock vacation, but it's Pilates instead of.
Maybe I think that's what we all need, to be honest. Yeah. Anyways, today we're not talking about any specific book. We're yapping because I am so busy that it's hard to read books right now. So we're going to be yapping about like book to movie, book to TV adaptations.
Yes.
And all of that kind of jazz. And I think I lost him.
I'm trying to find out where I wrote down my list of...
You texted them to me.
I did. I'm going to just go to that text message with you.
And I also made the list on my iPad.
I think we might be needing that list pretty well. Yes, here it is.
Where do you want to start?
Let's start.
He made the list, so I'm making him start.
No, I made the list. You can start.
Well, what was the first thing you put on the list?
I put on The Summer I Turned Pretty just because...
You had something to say. Okay, let's start with Summer I Turned Pretty.
In no particular order.
Have you watched all of Summer I Turned Pretty?
I've only seen season 1.
Jesus Christ.
I can't watch season 2 until my girlfriend lets me watch it.
Rachel!
I know.
Rachel!
That's how I feel about these things too. I'm a little bit... Because she already watched season 2.
So good.
She already watched season 2.
Oh, word.
With her friends. And now I just have to sit here going...
I mean, I'm on your side always, Rachel, but come on!
I know she's going to choose Conrad. I already know that in my heart of hearts.
You guys, I love Summer I Turned Pretty.
But like, I don't know. I don't like Conrad. I just don't like him.
We've gone through this before. I am a team Conrad.
He's just day drinking. He's not dark and mysterious. He's just an 18-year-old who's depressed and drinking.
Okay, and he's cute.
All right.
And he's going through it. You have to watch the second season.
Okay, I'll watch the second season. I want to watch.
Have you read the books?
Season. No.
Bruh. You put it on the list.
Because I know it's an adaptation out there, and I'm familiar with the culture.
I will say that's one of them. So when it comes to book to movie adaptations, well, book to TV, do you prefer TV or movies?
It depends on what the vibe is. Sometimes for some TV shows, they like really be stretching it out.
Yeah.
For what the content is, and I'm all right.
I understand what you're saying about stretching it out. However, I will say that a few of the things on this list, they made TV shows. And I prefer the TV shows over the books.
I can believe that.
The two of them being Summer I Turned Pretty and Bridgerton. Because both of those books, to be honest, especially Summer I Turned Pretty, kind of boring. Kind of like not much happens and you can read it in an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Bridgerton, love me some Regency romance. However, the world...
Taylor Swift hits different.
Well, that... And the world is much more fleshed out, and it's each book, because in the books, and I said this during our Bridgerton episode, but each book is very much like only focuses on the characters that are like the love stories for. There's no side characters, no anything else, and I think that is where Bridgerton, the TV show, is the strongest. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree.
Because you get things about all of the Bridgerton siblings throughout the whole series, and you see all the television series, but in the books, you kind of don't really meet them or do anything with them until their book. Yeah. So it makes you love them more. Like in terms of Colin and Penelope, you have such a stronger like
appreciation.
And love for them and want them to succeed in the television show. Because if you play with that,
I'm not. My hand is so far past it.
In the TV show, because you've been with them for years. Sorry. I just saw your hand go and I got scared. Is it gone? Oh no, it's still there.
It's there, but like the Velcro part isn't attached to it.
Okay.
So last episode there was some Velcro here, and I was just picking it.
We need to get him a fidget toy. Anyways.
Yeah, what happened to that extra piece? It disappeared.
Oh, I left it on, so couldn't have been me.
Wasn't me.
Couldn't have been me.
Anyways.
I have an alibi. I was sitting right here when it went missing.
Anyways, that's what I think about like Bridgerton and Summer I Turned Pretty. I have the same thoughts about both of them. And the fact that I like the shows better.
I think those are two very similar shows in terms of like their style and tone, where the vibe is kind of more important than like anything with the story. You know what I mean? Like,
I get what you're saying.
Where it comes with The Summer I Turned Pretty, it's just silly, fun vibes. The actors are all just kind of there. Like, there's nothing really super, super serious.
I would say that that's not true in the second season.
Maybe that's just the first season then. But
yeah, the second season is when they deal with a lot.
Oh, the mom just...
And I have to burp. Sorry. I'm not really a crier. Like, I don't... It takes a lot to make me cry.
It takes a hammer to your tooth to make you cry.
Boy, don't it. And Summer I Turned Pretty season 2 made me cry. Whereas in the book, I was like, okay, sorry that your mom died. But in the show, I was like, oh, weeping.
I had good vibes of That's the Way I Loved You playing when they first walked up and kissed. Like,
isn't that is cinema?
That's what I mean by the vibe. It's just you're sitting there and they understand the assignment of what needs to be playing right now.
Which is the same with Bridgerton. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes. The Way I Loved You. Oh.
Apparently not season 3 though. Season 3 there was drama, I guess.
I loved season 3.
Okay.
We talked about this. That was
we did during the episode.
Yeah. I loved season 3.
Okay.
Anyone else? I'll fight. Okay.
I don't know. I just know they swapped showrunners and people were complaining about.
And you can tell.
Okay.
But I love it as a whole so much that I'm like, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The core of what I love about it is still there.
That's good.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about, since we were talking about The Summer I Turned Pretty. I know we talked about this last time with the Rings of Power.
We're gonna start fighting.
The Amazon series of Lord of the Rings.
We're gonna start fighting.
As far as what...
This is gonna be the last episode of this.
It's kind of an adaptation. It's not really on our brand of adaptation, but it could have been. If that Galadriel Sauron story had been done better. If it had been done better.
Okay. Well, it was never, they were never going to do that. They were never going to do that because I don't think Tolkien's estate would let them. And I think everyone would be like, what the fuck?
I think for $1 billion, they could do it.
Sauron and Galadriel? You really think they would have actually done it?
Yes. They're half doing it now.
Who's calling me? I'm busy. Major enemies to lovers vibes that I would have I will read the fan fiction for, but they would never have done that.
I agree that they would never have done that. So why are they kind of doing it?
You know what? Because it gets girlies like me on it.
That's my point. I don't like this 1 foot in type of thing. Like Summer I Turned Pretty, they went all out with that. We're gonna play a poppy song every 10 seconds, and you're gonna love it. And I was like, you know what? You're right. In this one, they're like, we want to play a poppy song every 10 seconds.
Shut the fuck
but we're not gonna. And I'm like,
no, okay. I love Rings of Power.
We're gonna yearn for each other, but
yes, and they can yearn for each other, and it's on screen. The way those two look at each other.
So you're saying that they are doing it?
No, I think yes, I think they are. Well, because he's like, I would have made you my queen.
That's my point.
I would have put. But they can't because if they actually did it, that would have been crazy.
There's no reason to not. If it's hot, do it.
I mean, I agree.
If it's hot, do it.
Listen, we're on the same side here.
You want to know what? Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings movies versus the books, he has no moment where he almost dies to a warg and then pushes those doors open so hot.
So hot.
That was done because it's hot. Viggo Mortensen pushing those doors after almost dying, going...
Oh, in slow-mo, it's so everything.
It's because it's hot. There's no source material for it. Give me that.
I mean, you're right, because there's also really no source material for this. But I don't think they would ever do it. But I do, unlike you, I appreciated the, you know? Because for me, and you've said something similar to this before, that it's more about the, journey to than the actual situation.
The actual destination and everything
yes.
like that? Well, that's the premise of Lord of the Rings. The journey matters more.
Exactly. Yeah. And the journey of the almost, girl, I live. Even though they don't, even though they never will, I still live. Why? Because they're all hot and it's sexy.
If it wasn't a step every 8 hours.
Shut the fuck. It's not.
I could appreciate the journey too. They're appreciating the journey too much. They're taking too much time with this journey. But moving on anyway. That's just my opinion.
That's my opinion.
Let's stick with the Regency era and move on to Pride and Prejudice.
I love Pride and Prejudice.
Have you read the book for Pride and Prejudice?
Years ago.
Okay, I think I had to read parts of it for school at one point. I don't think I ever read the whole thing. I think I've seen Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
That movie also slaps.
I miss those movies. I wish that they hadn't bombed like they did, so they could keep making more.
Banger cast. You know who's in that? Lily James, Lena Headey, Matt Smith. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? That's like kind of iconic.
You ever see Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
I did not.
It's the same vibe, pretty much.
I kind of live for stuff like that. Like camp, you know? Because those things, like we've said before, they know what they are. Yes. And so they're delivering on what they are.
Don't try to be something that you're not.
No, it's weird and kind of dumb and silly.
Yeah, so like how are you going to have a movie called Abe Lincoln Vampire Slayer or Pride and Prejudice and Zombies and not
which they did.
Be ridiculous?
And
like, you can have a good story and just be silly.
And you know what? Actually, let me get into something.
Okay.
That is something that all of these freaking execs don't understand. Okay? They don't understand that we live for stuff like that. You know? Like, things have gotten too serious. Too serious. Let us have silly, stupid, fun, dumb things.
It depends on what it's for, you know? Like, if you're, it's the you can't have your cake and eat it too that we've talked about before with, like, a lot of these movies. Like, I'll just bring up Marvel ones because I feel like that's things that a lot of people have seen and whatnot. Where they'll try to have a compelling story while throwing in a joke every 10 seconds. And it's like, okay, either be camp or be serious with a couple jokes.
Yeah, it worked with Iron Man, so they keep doing it.
Yeah, and I'm like, so whoever's watching Agatha all along right now, I'm loving it.
I loved it.
Phenomenal.
Did you finish
I haven't finished it?
I won't say anything, but I finished it.
Shut the fuck up. Haven't seen it yet.
My lips are literally sealed.
Or
I loved it.
No, I've been liking it so much because, like, it's kind of getting what it is, but when it does those serious moments, I don't feel like it's taking away from the serious moments with its jokes.
Yeah, love.
Really hard.
And I just think that cast is like Catherine Hahn can do no wrong. You know.
Apparently, Patti LuPone was a bit pitchy though, from what I.
Not even. Don't even say that to me. I will fight. I will. Patti LuPone, love you so much.
I was so scared of their when they did their little Hot Ones episode. Her and Aubrey Plaza. I was watching it like I am so terrified of both of these women.
And obsessed.
Yeah.
What I would give. Oh.
Anyway, Pride and Prejudice, the actual one.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
I've seen the play before. There's a play version.
Seen the movie?
I've seen the movie. I've seen the movie too. I've seen the play more recently.
The hand.
Yeah, with the hand little flex. That.
Are you kidding me? That's like iconic.
I'm gonna be honest. Personally, as a man, never really got the hype of that scene. Can you explain it right now?
The hand thing? Yeah, because she touches it. He helps her out of a carriage, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just skin. Yes, it's like the first time that they like, you know, and the way he's like, it's because he's thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what it is. Like you can see that he's thought about it. At least that's what I think. You know.
On another level, Keira Knightley, I love you.
I love Keira
I love the idea of you. Please.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Love her. That movie is so iconic. Oh.
Cool. Yeah. Does it? I would say that one kind of nails everything that needs.
You know what? In the same vein, you know what is one of my other favorite movies? Little Women.
That was the next one that I had.
The 2019? 2019?
It's 2018 or 2019.
Yeah. That is one of my favorite movies ever. That's on my Letterboxd top 4.
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, okay. Let me talk about
Emma Watson out of nowhere. I was like, oh, okay.
It's supposed to be Emma Stone.
Supposed to be?
Yes, it was supposed to be Emma Stone, and then she bounced. And
they wrote down the wrong Emma?
Yeah, they swapped Emmas. Okay, actually, let me talk about Little Women for a second. Jo March is my favorite character of all time.
No, Joe, let me tell you, I have loved.
Oh my, okay, so let me go on a Joe and Lori little thing for a moment. Greta Gerwig is such a genius. The direction of that movie is ridiculous. She's one of my favorite directors ever. And the story of like Joe and Lori throughout it, there's a part where it's one of my favorite, like in the background. So much is happening in the background of that movie that if you watch it a million times like I have, you notice new things every time. I just noticed for the first time that when it's when things are still happy pre-Beth dying, I think. Yeah. And they're like playing.
Spoilers.
Sorry. Spoilers for Little Women. It's been out for a million years.
You spoiled Little Women? Come on, bro. Oh my God. I'm on chapter 16. I didn't know that yet.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
Beth.
But
the sick girl who was definitely dying from chapter 1? No.
Yes. But the yearning that Lori has for Joe throughout the whole thing.
Isn't Joe Florence Pugh or is Joe the main?
No, just Saoirse Ronan.
Okay. Which one is Florence Pugh?
Women?
Yeah, which one is Florence Pugh? I don't remember their names. Amy. Okay. Because I know that Lori ends up with Amy. Yeah, I do. I remember that part. And I remember there was a bit of not a triangle per se, but he was definitely pursuing
as I was about to say.
Sorry.
So he's been like kind of longing after Joe this whole time, right? There's a part in the background of one of this like scenes where like I don't even remember what's happening, where jokingly Joe gets on one knee and like looks like she's proposing to Lori. Timothy Chalamet's face, the acting, it's ridiculous. And so the whole time you just see him like, but that's not to say that I don't love him and Amy though.
Yeah.
Because they both like in their adulthood, they are who each other needed. And like Joe and Lori could never have worked. As she says, they would have fought. It would never have worked.
Joe didn't want that.
Joe didn't want that. I mean, Joe didn't want a man, period. And Joe probably was a lesbian, as we all know, because that is how Louisa May Alcott probably was. And this is a whole thing. And then they just forced her to write in Professor Bear. But I digress. I live for her getting that Frenchman at the end, too. Anyways, I could talk about Little Women all day. I love it so much. Laura Dern? Are you kidding me? Meryl Streep? Dear God.
Oh, yeah. Meryl Streep's the aunt, isn't she?
Yes!
Oh, my God. I forgot Meryl Streep was in that movie.
Yes.
I love when movies just have a stacked cast like that.
Oh.
Like, Bob Odenkirk shows up randomly.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, my God, Bob, what are you doing here?
It is the best movie. And it is.
You're the dad?
It's time to watch that movie again. And also as a girl with two sisters, it's just, it hits home. As the oldest.
Maybe the Little Women were the friends we made along the way.
Perhaps. Okay, that's
all right. Which sister are you then?
I'm such a Joe. It's sick and twisted, and it kind of hurts. Like,
do you have a sister to assign to each of the other girls too? Because there's 3 girls, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So Joe's actually the second oldest. I wouldn't say that I'm a Meg though. That's
you can
Emma
still
Watson.
identify with Pharaoh when she's the youngest. You know.
Because Meg is like Meg is more like my sister Chloe, who's the middle. Because the middle one, Beth, she dies. So none of my sisters. Sophia is kind of an Amy, but I don't know. It's hard to say. But I am such a Joe. Do I cry every time she has that? I'm so lonely. Yes, I do cry every time to that because it hits too hard. Anyways, on to happier things.
All right. Wow. Let's swap to a silly one then. 50 Shades of Grey.
Work.
That's an adaptation.
Have you read 50 Shades of Grey?
I have not read it. I think I said this when the first time we mentioned this one, but I saw 50 Shades of Grey with my mom years ago.
That's crazy.
And I didn't like that one bit.
That's actually
I didn't enjoy that time. Thanks for that, Mom.
That's crazy.
Thanks for the trauma there. But all right.
I read 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey was my first introduction into smut back in like 2014. Back in the day.
This movie came out in 2015, right? Mm-hmm. This adaptation.
And I read it right before the movie came out.
This was like...
And that was the first time I had heard the term smut talking about books because my best friend's older sister was reading it. And she's like, it's smut, whatever. And so I started reading it too. And I was very embarrassed. I was very embarrassed to tell people what I was reading. But I lived.
So since you've read it,
mm-hmm.
How does the adaptation work? Because for the movie, personally, I don't. I
read it like 10. I read it back when it came out. I don't remember like Live, Laugh, Loving for either. You know, I think that Jamie Dornan's hot.
Yeah, it was apparently supposed to be Henry Cavill who was almost cast as that.
What? I like Jamie Dornan though a lot.
Yeah,
but that's crazy. But I don't think I ever saw all of them. I do love that song that Taylor Swift and Zayn Malik wrote for it. That song slaps. That song goes really hard.
I didn't like the first one song. Was it Ellie Goulding's song for it?
What song was that? I don't remember, but yeah, there was an Ellie Goulding song in there.
Yeah, just not anything against Ellie Goulding, just that it was played so much.
Yeah.
And I only had access to the radio at this time of my life. So I wanted to end it all, essentially, every single time.
I understand. That's so funny. Yeah, but I don't have many thoughts about 50 Shades.
How do we feel about fully explicit scenes being like in movies then? And stuff like that? Because that was something when I remember when we first talked about like Akatar being adapted or something like that, I said that it should be animated. It was one of our videos that like popped up. I was talking to people were like, no, what about the sex scenes? And I was like, okay, well, you're being really weird if that's the only reason that you're going to be watching this show is just to watch two actual.
Right, like I have some websites you could go on and see.
Yeah, there's a lot out there for you.
Like, please.
So
I don't think that these things need to be as explicit as they are on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
because this is one where it's just like the full BDSM, right?
Yeah.
And it's just Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, it's not.
Nude the whole
it's
time
not incredibly like.
while he caresses her with a crop, and I'm like,
right.
All right, yeah.
And because I wouldn't say. I mean, those movies could still go to the theater, so it's not like they were like crazy obscene.
Yeah.
You know?
But like, what's the level that you're like? Well, is there really a point to having this much be in it, or do we get enough from just either a fade to black or what Bridgerton does, where it's just a little bit of side boob maybe and like some booty cheeks? That's about it.
Have you seen season 1?
Yeah,
season 1 of Bridgerton is explicit.
It's mostly just the dude's booty cheeks, though. You know what I mean?
I can't with you saying
it's mostly Anthony just cheeked up.
Well, work. And
like,
you know what?
Episode 1, I was like,
you know what,
hey,
Jonathan
Figaro,
Bailey, we love
on?
to see it. Love him so much.
He's Figaro, right? And Wicked? Is that his name?
Figaro?
Yeah. Sorry, I've never seen Wicked. I've never seen it.
Guys. I actually wrote Wicked down to talk about.
Okay, we can talk about that in a bit, but don't spoil anything. Apparently there's like some crazy twists.
Spoilers for Wicked is crazy, Alexandros.
I don't know how.
Wicked is crazy. You grew up in theater. What do you mean?
That's what's crazy about it, is that I just missed it. I never really got it. Let
me close the chapter on what we were just talking about. I don't need to see full porn. Okay, that's what I'll say that.
Yeah.
Okay. It can just be whatever.
That's apparently what some people like really want to be
That's weird.
seeing.
Sorry. There are websites to go to for that. Read the book, I guess.
Read the book, have an imagination, if that's like what you're really doing.
No, I think it can be like, you know.
Because that was like one of the biggest,
like you said, like Bridgerton.
One of the biggest complaints that we got for like that take being like, oh, animation might be a better choice for it. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to be watching cartoons fucking. I'm like, well, you would just want to be watching normal people be. I don't know if that's the right argument you want to be making.
Yeah, that's kind of a little bit bizarre.
Man,
It's different when
I don't have to see either of them personally.
It's different because those are people. Like it's different.
It's
different.
All right.
Yeah,
Moving on.
That's wacky. Now on to Wicked. Alexandros, I am gagged. Let me go on a Wicked tangent really quick. Wicked changed my whole entire life. If that sounds dramatic, once again, it is not. I saw Wicked when I was 13 years old at the Pantages. Megan Hilty, Casey Levy, my two biggest heroes in my life. I don't believe you're kidding. I can see it. I'm just like, all right. Wicked is my everything. I won't spoil Wicked for you, sir, even though it's crazy. But I am so excited for November 22nd.
I'm excited too.
I think that's when it comes out.
Because I heard, what's his name? Jonathan
Bailey?
Yeah, he's playing Figaro. He's Anthony and Bridgerton and everything like that. I heard his song, like a quick little edit of it in the trailer. Yeah, whatever he's with our hands tied, or like whatever he sings. Whatever. I can't remember. I don't know the lyrics. I've never seen it. Like I said, I've never listened to the music. I don't know anything. I know Defying Gravity. That's about it. Because you can't not know Defying Gravity. But I heard it and I was like, I really want to see him sing this song.
Have you ever seen him sing before?
No, apart from the trailer, like 1 second clip.
Because he was on the West End before Bridgerton.
Amazing.
West End being, you know, our Brit listeners know, being like the Broadway of the UK. That's where he came from. That's like what his career started in. There's a video of him singing Nobody Needs to Know from the last 5 years that I've watched, I think, 30 times.
I've done a song from the last 5 years.
It's so good. It's so good. He's fantastic, and I cannot wait. The whole cast is so stacked for Wicked. Cynthia and Ari, I know, are gonna like literally knock it out of the park. Anyone who has anything to say about Ariana Grande, I really actually for real don't want to hear it.
I wasn't gonna talk shit because I agree. Like a lot of people are just hating for like no reason. There's a lot of things to be on her about. Her singing abilities aren't one of them, you know?
Exactly. Also, where did she get her start? Broadway. That was her first professional gig. No.
Oh, was it not Annie?
13 the musical. Iconic. I see a brand new you. Like she was riffing on, we got the trailer. Like she was riffing on Broadway.
Now.
Well, work. Riffing on Broadway back in like 2008. Like so iconic. Ariana Grande is going to eat. Cynthia Erivo, hello, Tony winner. She is going to eat. Like it is going to be everything. And I'm so there. This is the first trailer.
It's the original trailer. It's not the newer one where she goes, I am. And there's a little quirk up smile.
I hate that I know that. Like, I can't wait. Also a book that I know a lot of people read too young because people read Wicked, the book, thinking, you know, it'd be like a kid's book. No. Very explicit, I guess.
I have the book somewhere, I think. I should read
Very explicit. You should read it. I know it's also kind of creepy. The Wicked is much more like because people would bag on
Sound of Mine, right? Or is it one of the other guys?
Schwartz.
Schwartz.
Oh. Steven Schwartz.
Whoops. Wrong Steven.
Yeah.
Wrong big name in theater Steven.
I mean, Sondheim and Schwartz, vastly different, but it's okay. It's okay.
Which one did Sondheim do? He did like 8. He did Cats, right? Did he do Cats? Who did Cats?
No.
Was that Schwartz again?
No, that's Andrew Lloyd Webber. That's Andrew Lloyd Webber. Sondheim's Into the Woods, Company,
Into the Woods was the other
Sweeney
one I was
Todd. Like his, the Sondheim, Schwartz, very commercial. Schwartz musicals, like Wicked, very commercial, very
because Into the Woods isn't commercial.
Hold on. I'm actually going to get violent. Very commercial, very like big, palatable. People argue that Wicked doesn't have, it's only a spectacle, sure, but also it's gorge also.
Did you hear Adina mention? Yeah.
What are you saying? Sondheim, art. Sondheim, sometimes people leave you halfway through the wood. Moments of the Woods, one of the best songs ever written in all time, for real. Company, like his is giving very artistic. Into the Woods is his most like commercial, I guess you could say, but it's very artsy fartsy, very like, you know, poetic, like stuff like that. Andrew Lloyd Webber, also live Wackiana Grande, Phantom of the Opera, Cats, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. So there's a breakdown of those composers for you.
We're just a theater podcast now, guys, actually.
You guys, this shout out to Sentimental Men. Can't believe you guys got Ariana Grande on your podcast. That's crazy. Wow. Anyways, Wicked, I'm so excited.
We're totally going to get her for next episode.
I saw her once at work.
That's cool.
I know, I was really gagged. Love her. Love her. Anyways, that's us yelling about Wicked. I can't wait. It's going to change my life because it has already changed my life.
I guess if we're talking about musicals, I can talk about what I did last night.
Say it.
I went to go see Hadestown, the non-union tour that's currently at the Segerstrom Theater. Segerstrom Center for the Arts. I think that's its official title.
I've had like 5 names since I've been going.
Yeah, and it's the story of Orpheus and Eurydice, which I think that's a pretty classic story that can be counted as adapted, you know?
Well, yeah. You're Greek, it works.
Yeah, exactly. And because I'm Greek, I get to say this. I think the show is overhyped.
I disagree. I saw it on Broadway years ago, and I love it so hard.
I think the production that I saw, everyone did an amazing job. The singers, the dancers, the actors, everyone was so amazingly talented. The setting was great. Everything that they did, they knocked it out of the park. The music itself just felt a little lackluster to me for a story that's just music, essentially.
Yeah.
Like there's very little dialogue. You need to be having songs that hit it out of the park left and right.
Which I think they do.
Apart from Wait For Me, there was maybe 1 or 2.
The epics?
The epics were nice. Like, no, don't get me wrong. Orpheus' whole melody that he keeps doing with the la 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 that he does every time, I love that. That was beautiful. Bro's doing it every 5 seconds, but you know, it's still a good song. My point is that it doesn't need to be a 2.5 hour show if that's like the case.
Work. I'm a stan, so. And I saw all of them. I saw pretty much all of them. I saw both of them. I saw Lilias White, icon.
Lilias White?
Lilias White. She's like very.
Okay, well, I don't think her race matters to me.
She's actually not white. She's black, and she.
Oh, then why'd you say that she was white?
Shut the fuck up. She was. She was one of the muses. She was one of the muses in Hercules, like the movie.
And was she one of the muses in this one too?
No, she was Hermes. Amazing.
She was Hermes. Oh,
yeah. They switch up Hermes a lot.
Nice.
It's so cool. Love.
Okay.
Love.
Wait for me.
Oh my.
I'm coming. We're gonna get demonetized. All right. We have to worry about that now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we do.
That's right.
Okay.
The next one I have is in the vein of unless you have something.
No, go ahead.
No. It's 365 Days.
I've never seen that.
I saw it on Netflix with my mom once again.
Why do you keep being put in these situations?
Because her and her friend would just put on some movies and I just have to sit there and watch.
Why?
Because I didn't know what it was about. I left like halfway through it.
Oh, okay,
good. So I can honestly say, because I was like, this one is way more smut than 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, shit.
It's just them fucking on boats nonstop.
But is that a book?
Yeah, 360
I know.
Days. Yeah, it's a book.
360. When you were
I mean, I did a quick Google search and I think it was a book.
Oh.
I don't remember off the top of my head right now, but fingers crossed it is. I mean.
Okay, let me talk about.
I guess we're moving on from that one, yeah?
Yeah, sorry, I have nothing to say about
You're good, yeah. I don't really have much to say about it.
Well, I fear we need to hit the banger of all banger book adaptations, which are Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
Those all three
the
iconic.
Holy Trinity, yeah.
Right. So iconic. I think that The Hunger Games is the best adaptation like ever.
Period.
Right? Like I've never heard anyone really say anything bad about that.
I think the first one gets a few dings just for not being as faithful, but as a standalone movie, I really like it.
It's great.
I think Catching Fire, just because there was such a huge
Fire is so good.
Style, budget, and what they were in intention.
Yeah.
With everything. The first one, I don't think they thought it was going to be as big of a success as it was.
Just like Twilight, yeah.
And I kind of like its style, not more than Catching Fire, but
the GoPro vibes.
Yeah, the GoPro vibes where it definitely feels like
it's very anxiety-inducing.
Yeah,
which is real.
The filter is different. It's quieter. It takes its time, and it doesn't feel as grand scale with the sci-fi aspect.
Yeah.
Like it feels very much more grounded.
Yeah.
And then with the second one, they're like, "Oh, we can have spaceships. Yeah, I mean airships or whatever they do. We're gonna have a force field and everything. Let's do it."
I love Hunger Games.
I'll great.
Always love the Hunger
And then our
Games.
First episode was always obviously Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. We didn't really know what we were doing. So
I can't wait for Sunrise on the Reaping.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, that's the Hamish one. They're doing the book and the movie. I can't wait.
I want to get cast in that. Do you guys think I could play a young Hamish? Can I pull that off?
We're getting old.
I can get drunk.
We're getting old.
I know.
I know, it sucks. So I just wanted to say those were obviously iconic.
I told my Percy Jackson auditioning story on this podcast yet?
Dear Lord, no.
I don't know. I submitted an audition for Luke Castellan back when they were releasing casting calls for the characters, and the casting director very politely responded back like, "Hey, we're going younger than you." And I was like,
nice to reach out though.
Word, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's fine. I'm not dying
we're
inside.
Old, yeah. A little bit. We're old now.
So I was only what was I, 20 when like the casting was really going out for that or something? Yeah. I was like, what year was that fully announced? Was that 2020? I'd probably just turned 21 or something like that.
Yeah.
When?
Damn. They got you a few years older when you used to look itty bitty. Back when I first met you.
I would have done it.
But Tragic. Yeah, had to hit those iconic ones.
Yeah.
Another iconic adaptation that you didn't write down that I thought of, Dune.
Yes, that's technically a book, I guess. Yeah.
What? It is.
I know. Yeah.
What do you mean technically?
I wrote down primarily like the smut genre.
I know, but
like that.
But let's
we're full time, yeah.
You don't want to talk about Dune? I love Dune.
I want to talk about Dune. Absolutely.
We saw Dune.
I was thinking about Dune actually while I was getting ready to come here because we want to do a Hear Me Out episode. I think like we were talking about it, and I was like, if you write down Fade Routha, that's not going to count.
What do you mean?
As a Hear Me Out, that's just a dude. That's just Austin Butler bald. He's still hot.
The thing about my Fade Routha obsession is that I don't care for Austin Butler outside of Fade Routha. I don't know what it is, but I live for him as Fade Routha.
Did you not like him in The Bike Riders?
Yeah, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm an Austin Butler stan. Like he's cute. Like I think he's very attractive. Elvis, I was like, okay, work. He's talented, obviously, but him is as Fade Routha, and usually I need hair too.
Mm-hmm.
But something about that.
I liked him fully.
Something about that I really was down for. Yeah.
All right.
But I had to mention Dune because obsessed.
Yeah. The most recent adaptation, not the 1980s one. That one.
No.
That's a choice.
No.
Or a lot of choices that went into that one.
Yeah. Did you see that all of them are being submitted for Best Actor? Florence, Austin, Zendaya, and Timothy are all being submitted in Best Actor categories for the Oscars.
For Dune?
No.
I was going to say.
Other things. But everyone was like, that's kind of crazy.
I was going to be like, I don't know if Florence Pugh deserves Best Actress.
No. For We Live in Time.
For that one. Yeah, that makes more sense. I was like, she's in that movie for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but the fact that all 4 of them, I was like, that's kind of
That's the same as them submitting for Game of Thrones, Kit Harington for season 8 of Game of Thrones for Best Actor. It's like, bro had one line. I don't know. What are we doing here?
You know who should have won for Game of Thrones who never did? And this is a Hillel Dion.
Who?
Lena Headey.
Did she never win a?
No. She deserves her flowers because her performance in Game of Thrones is unreal. Game of Thrones is also my favorite thing in the world. So Amelia Clarkson.
Did she?
Amelia who?
What's her name?
Clark.
Oh my God. Not
Kelly Clarkson. Since you've been gone.
I was like, how far off am I? Hold on. Amelia Clark. Yeah. My bad.
Game of Thrones is my everything, as we know. And I'm currently rewatching Game of Thrones with my mother.
I can't rewatch it.
Why not?
Anymore.
Why not?
It hurts after watching season 8 after it was so bad of an ending.
Yeah, it hurt. It does hurt.
It could have been up here for.
But this sparks a question that I have to ask. Actually, I forget what question I was going to ask about it. But I will say that something that's interesting about Game of Thrones is that it starts to go bad as soon as there's nothing to adapt it from.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting.
It's no longer an adaptation at that point.
Like, I think that's interesting, though, is because I would argue that, like, adapting and then writing something new obviously are two very different skills. Yeah. And David and Dan were very good at adapting the first few books that they had, but as soon as they were left to their own devices, shit got weird.
Yeah. I feel like we can loop that back to fan fiction in a way too, because fan fiction in a way is kind of adapting source material.
Right.
Sort of.
Yeah. It's building upon a source material that exists.
Yeah. But even when you're doing but kind of doing your own thing a little bit. So in a way it's an adaptation. I thought I had more to say about that, but I really didn't, guys.
Okay.
I'm missing the mark on this one.
That's okay. I also want to take a moment to talk about my other favorite adaptation currently, which is one of my favorite TV shows that I've been yelling at everybody to watch. Can you guess what it is?
Interview with a Vampire?
Yes, Interview with the Vampire. If you haven't watched that TV show, I'm going to throw hands. Everyone needs to watch it. It is so good, and you're going to be sad when you don't watch it, okay? Because it's the best thing ever. I'm so serious. The movie, great. Camp.
Yeah, I think I've seen the Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise.
The movie's good.
Yeah.
The TV show, some of the best performances I've literally ever seen. Like, I'm so serious.
Okay.
It is incredible. Any Interview with Vampire stands out there, please let your girl know. Lestat, ultimate baby girl, love him forever. No, bitch. The third season is being worked on right now. Is the show being canceled? Why would you utter those words? I'm about to have another mentee bee after my tooth. Are you kidding me?
I apologize. I didn't know that. I think I was thinking of My Lady Jane. That one got canceled. That's the one that you liked that got canceled.
That's actually what I meant when I was saying that executives don't understand what we like. The people were living for My Lady Jane. The internet was living for My Lady Jane.
Not according to their ratings, I don't think.
But who cares? Who cares about ratings?
The people making the shows.
But that's what I'm saying.
The shows.
They need to talk to the actual, like, if you look online, people live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you arguing?
I didn't hear about it until it was canceled. That's why. The people who were living weren't spreading it around enough. That's all I got to say.
It was all over my Instagram story. You don't pay attention.
Anyway.
It was all over my Instagram story. Ugh. That is also leading me to Shadow and Bone.
Okay.
Solomon loved Shadow and Bone. I loved Shadow and Bone.
Both seasons, yes.
I am a Shadow and Bone.
Oh, sorry. I forgot that one made that sound. My bad.
What are you trying to say?
I was trying to do an applause. I thought
the applause is over there.
Oh.
I love Shadow and Bone, and I'm so sad that Shadow and Bone was nixed. Did you watch Shadow and Bone?
I never watched it. Yeah.
Was it as good as the books? No. Things hardly ever are. However, I loved all of the actors in it, and that one was
Ben Barnes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ben Barnes.
Beautiful.
That one was just a very sad, and also like just TV. The whole
is that part of the Six of Crows?
Universe?
Yes.
Yeah. And so Shadow and Bone is like it goes Shadow and Bone, Six of Crows, Rule of Wolves, whatever. Like and they're interconnected, right? Like, but they're not like series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's 3 Shadow and Bone books, 2 Six of Crows, like 2 or 3 Rule of Wolves, whatever. King of Scars, all that. Six of Crows is better than Shadow and Bone because Six of Crows. Are you confused?
I was like,
I know it's a lot. Six of Crows is better than Shadow and Bone. And the bummer about the show getting canceled is that we were really going to get into all of the Six of Crows lore in the next season, which is such a bummer. And like, I fear we can't speak about this right now without speaking about the current state of the entertainment industry, which we just are very close to because we live here and that's kind of what we do. Like, it's just so hard right now coming back from the pandemic and then the strikes, like, which obviously that was rightfully so, but like it's just so hard to keep
not fun
things.
That you have to strike, you know what I mean?
It's not. Yeah, they shouldn't have had. It sucks.
Nobody wants a strike to happen,
right? But it's just like we've seen so many like things just go boom, 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 like get canceled, and it sucks.
I definitely think that we've talked about something like this before in an earlier episode. I think it was our hot takes thing where it's just this cycle that we're in right now where it's 8 episodes maybe in a year and then 2 to 3 years before the next season comes out. I'm so sick of it. This setup is just not conducive for content to be made. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll go back to Rings of Power just because we were talking about that earlier. The first season of that came out in what, 2022? Mm-hmm. The second season
it's always lined up with House of the Dragon. They always come out the same.
Because they want to try to catch the coattails of that when it's like, oh, you want something fantasy? Come watch this instead. And it's the same thing with House of the Dragon as well, where it's just a couple years in between each season. And
we used to get a Game of Thrones season a year.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
Once a year, that makes sense. But it's the same thing with movies now, too, where it's Dune came out, and there were problems with the pandemic before the sequel came out, because it also wasn't greenlit until it got enough budget to get a second one. So for something like that, I understand. But with adaptations from back in the day, like Harry Potter, they were filming back to back. When they finished up filming for one, they'd go on break for the summer, go and film the next one. Mm-hmm. With the equivalent for that would probably be the Percy Jackson series right now, live action. Mm-hmm. They were filming for a good while, and they've been on hiatus from filming the second season until the second season script is written. It's been a year. It's been
probably more than a year.
These 12-year-olds are all 16 now.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's like Stranger Things, too.
Don't even get me started on that. When did the last season of that come out? 2020?
No, I think 21. 21 or 22. 22?
What is taking so long to film this series?
I don't know.
I don't even like Stranger Things that much, and it makes me mad that I have to follow it this much.
I love Stranger Things. Stranger Things is one of my favorites.
Millie Bobby Brown is married, all right?
I know.
Drake is no longer hitting her up. That's how long it's been.
Shut up.
That's how long this has been.
I know. I'm so bummed. 2022, yeah. Like,
Season 4 came out in 2022? Well, when Season 5 came out, they haven't released a trailer yet, right?
No, they haven't released it. I mean, I think supposedly next year.
Yeah, 3 years difference.
It just sucks. Like, yeah, 2025. And also 8 episodes. What the heck? We used to get 10.
I think they're splitting it in 2 parts. Because that's the new model now for streaming services to try to get profit, is they're trying to split it up so you have to keep the subscription for an extra for a different paying period. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I don't know. I'm
sick of it.
What's coming with this industry, especially because adaptations are like the only thing that seem to be getting made these days. There was always a source material, whether it's comic books, reboots of some other show or movie that were popular back in the day. Like, I'm ready for the Friends movie to come out.
Oh my God.
It's like, oh fuck, never mind.
Yeah,
I forgot Matthew Perry.
Yeah, no, it's just like rough out here, truly and completely.
We yearn for like creative industries, for things to be back. Like I'm gonna start rehearsals for King Lear soon, and I really hope that that's gonna be a good time. Working with people that like are really good, and like like that's not a diss or anything, but it's like just being like, I'm not trying to shit talk. I'm just being like, it's always great when you're working with somebody that is either on your level or above it, so that you can grow.
That's how I feel about my job right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've been really stagnant in life.
Yes.
That
I feel you. It's just rough. It's rough out here. Okay, do you have any more adaptations you specifically want to mention? Because I have a few questions about adaptations.
I have After to talk about.
After?
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, how did you forget about After? I've seen the movie. And
Which one?
The first one.
Do you know there's like 5 or 6 movies? There's another one like coming out, I think. After was, I've said this before, was the first.
Never been touched before.
Crazy. He's so hot though. After was the first fan fiction I ever read. I was on
its fan fiction days.
Yeah, I was on Wattpad logging in all the time, and I loved it. The movie, I will say, I mean, I think I just like watching attractive people be attractive, so I will watch it and I will enjoy it. They do get really bad though. The first one I think is like fun. I mean, yikes, but fun. That
someone had to.
Yeah, but why is my hair doing that? Dear God. But then they get really bad and scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of live. I applaud them still making them. You know what I mean? That's not a read. I just
they sure made a movie there.
They stuck to it, and Come on, Perseverance. Oh, okay. Any other ones?
Go ahead with your questions.
Okay,
it's gonna be more interesting than me mentioning this was a movie.
My first question is there anything that you've read that you really want to see adapted?
Anything that I've read that I really want to see adapted off the top of my head?
I'm yeah, sorry.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I have an answer.
Go ahead. You do yours. I'll think of.
My answer is what's the name? Is the Night Circus? Let me look up the author. Erin Morgenstein, is it? You guys, if I was right, I pulled that out of my ass. Erin Morgenstern. I was almost right. I love Erin Morgenstern's books, The Starless Sea and The Night Circus. And I have two questions written down. Okay. One is, what do you want to see adapted, and what do you not want to see adapted? I put that I want to see The Night Circus adapted because I think it could be really cool and whimsical and like circusy vibes that are like super fun and whimsy and kind of like a little creepy and unsettling. And I think that could be very cinematic. On the flip side, something I do not want to see adapted is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, because I don't feel like that book is so magical and beautiful and descriptive, and there's like the sea of honey. Like I just think it would come across too bonkerella on screen, and nothing could come close to how I imagined it in here.
That's good.
Thank you. I felt big brained for that. You've read those books.
Love
them.
Is one that I want to see because it's actually in the works right now. So I'll say this one because it's been on my mind lately. I have always been an Eragon stan, the book series, Eragon. The movie, I watched that first when I was a kid, and people hate the movie, obviously, because like it bombed. It didn't follow the source material at all. The fan base likes to act like there is no movie. So they're working on potentially getting a series in.
That's cool.
On non-Disney Plus. And Christopher Paolini, if you're watching this, please ask me. I understand the source material so well, unrelated to anything else. I love it. I wanted to go to your book signing in Orange that you did, but I had to film an episode here.
Oh no, you should have told me.
Well, it was last week's episode.
Oh,
it was last week's episode that we released.
I'm so sorry.
Where we crammed it in last minute. I was talking to Catherine from work, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to this book signing." I'm like, "There's a book signing? No."
Aww.
No, I'm quitting the Smut Couch.
It's just the
I have hardcovers of all the books. I have paperbacks of all the books.
That's a good answer.
I have so much. So Eragon is one that I really want to see just because that was like, it's a good, for lack of a better word, intro fantasy for like a lot of people. And it's a cool world with cool mechanics that if it were adapted well, I'd love to see that. I'd love to be a part of it too. Oh just saying. I might be too old for Eragon now, but I could be a good Roran. They always cast older people. They got 30-year-olds playing 16-year-olds on Disney Channel.
True.
Come on.
So what do you not want to see adapted?
What do I not want to see? It's always difficult with like what I don't want to see adapted because as far as adaptations go, like as long as it's interesting and fresh, anything I don't want to see adapted has been adapted in like pretty much successfully in the past 20 years. That's probably it. Like this new Twilight series that they're doing, which I guess they're doing it different because it's from Edward's POV. It's going
to be animated.
Yeah, which is at least something different. The new live action Harry Potter series, I don't want that. I don't think
anyone wants that. I don't understand. I mean, I know money, but I don't understand.
My theory is one, money. Two, they can get different contracts in so they can change up the Harry Potter world so that they don't have to pay as many residuals to the current
what they
actors.
Want, that would be so much money to do that.
But they'll make it back is what they're hoping.
I guess. I think it's dumb.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think it's mostly just when it's these cash grabs for things that already like worked and people can tell because the effort's not really put into them.
Yeah.
It's just kind of whatever. I think all these live action remakes of classic animated princess movies and stuff like that, sometimes they hit, sometimes more often than not, I feel like they miss with the overall vibe.
Cinderella's my favorite movie ever.
Yeah, I feel like that was everyone's because that's also, and I hate to shit on our opinions about things, but like, remember that we're not kids anymore, and that's who they are marketing to. Like, somebody was talking crap about SpongeBob, I think, recently, being like, have you seen the new episodes? They don't have any goal with where they're going anymore. There used to be a cohesive, like, and like they're talking about how the movie was supposed to be the final, like the original movie they made in 2004, that was supposed to be the final nail in the coffin for it. It was supposed to be the send-off. I was talking to somebody the other day who was born after that movie came out, and that made me.
Oh God, that's crazy.
That hurt inside, but people are like, yeah, no, it's just like, who are they trying to entertain? I'm like, children.
Children, yeah.
I maybe you have a point, but also you're not the core audience anymore.
It's not for you anymore.
Your style of humor isn't there, and that's okay. You shouldn't be liking things that you liked when you were 6.
Period.
It's okay to grow in life and for things not to hit the same way.
Good point.
I think I said that on a different episode.
I have another question before we wrap up. Do you have a most anticipated upcoming adaptation?
I think the next Hunger Games is the main one that we were talking about.
That's a good one. That's a good answer. Mine is all of the Emily Henry adaptations that are coming. You've never read Emily Henry, but she's my favorite author. And she's Beach Read, People We Meet on Vacation.
Yes.
People We Meet on Vacation is currently being filmed with the girl from My Lady Jane and then the guy from Songbirds and Snakes. Can't wait for those. Those books are, I think we should do an Emily Henry eventually.
Absolutely, yeah.
Beach Read is one of my favorite movies favorite books ever, and I can't wait.
It's gonna be one of your favorite movies.
It is. I'm like I can't wait to see who they cast for Gus. Like it's gonna be everything. And I'll just say really quick, this is something I love. There's something so nostalgic feeling about book to movie adaptations. It takes me right back to 2009 when I was waiting for Twilight to come out. Like the excitement I find I can't match in any other way.
I thought of another answer to your question.
Okay.
While you're doing about what I want to see adapted, I have 2 answers, and they better be as ridiculous and in my head as they were while reading. It's gonna be Icebreaker and the Love Hypothesis. But for the Love Hypothesis, you gotta cast Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver.
Could you imagine?
I don't. To the person who was commenting, like, did you know this was actually based off of fanfiction? Yes, we do. We do, because I was like, I want to see Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley. It's like, that's so funny because it's based off of fanfiction. I'm like, yes, I know.
We know.
That's
so
why
aware.
I said that I want them to be the.
That's so funny.
That's that. And then for an Icebreaker, I feel like it'd be a hilarious vibe, like either Some I Turn Pretty mixed with if they get the vibe right, mixed with After or something like that.
Yeah, it
it's
could
like
be
the
fun.
aesthetic. I'm just like,
I love a camp situation. You know. Okay, last question before we leave.
Okay.
Are all of these adaptations
Before we leave,
before we're done, before we have to go because I got to drive to LA right now. Do you think all of these adaptations that are happening are a positive thing, or do you think we're going too far?
the way they're being adapted, I think was kind of similar to what I said earlier, is what I don't think is the right way. It has to be done with people who like care about the creative process, that are putting in the effort so that the energy is right, so that they don't miss the assignment. Because if they just start throwing like, oh, this is a book that sold well, put it into production. This sold well, put it into production.
We need some creatives in there, not just these money-hungry CEOs.
You don't put in any thought into it. That's where it starts to become bad and like stale, and everyone's sitting there like, well, none of these are making money anymore. It's like, yeah, because the last 5 things you put out fucking
have
sucked.
Been bad. We care.
We do care. We want to be able to start following and supporting these things. But if you kill your own momentum by taking 3 years in between every single season or movie, and even the first time you're like setting it up with it, because season 1s are always a lot of setup. If it's boring because it's set up and you don't have that season 2 ready to go, then what are we doing here? Yeah. It's not that my attention span is cooked. Don't get me wrong.
All of
ours like, are. I don't have time to dedicate 4 years of my life to one season of a show.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm old. I'm gonna die.
Okay, you're younger than me. Relax. Okay. Anyways, that's all I got.
Yeah. That was it.
Please let us know your favorite adaptations.
Yeah, and let us know if this was an okay episode. Yeah, because we just kind of... No. Like, what I mean is that, like, I feel like we usually fill it up a lot more with funnier stories. This one was kind of just us going back and forth. So, like, let us know if you want more of this style, some more. Let us know. Some more.
If you want to give us s'mores, we'll take them.
Give us s'mores. Send those over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll let you know what we're doing next. I don't think we really discussed
we haven't planned it out quite yet. But yeah, stay tuned.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for bearing with those ads that now you're going to hear on the beginning and end of all of these.
Thank you for listening to those ads.
Thank you so much for following. Yeah, let us know how you're doing because we care.
We care.
Okay, love you so much.
We're
over there. I do it every time. Bye.
Thank you guys.